Hi everyone, my name is Bev, and today I've got some book recommendations for Scorpio season. So I'm not a big astrology person. There is zero evidence to suggest that the planetary alignment at the time of your birth has anything to do with your future, your personality. There's nothing to suggest that that's real at all. However, I do think it's fun. I love categories. I think that looking into your astrology is cool because I think introspection is cool. Anything that'll help somebody think more about themselves and why they are the way that they are, or recognizing things about them is a good thing in my book. I really love personality tests like the Myers-Briggs test, Enneagram, what Disney princess are you? I will take them all, and I want to know what your answers are too. The way that I think about stuff like astrology and tarot cards is they're like a mirror that you can use to hold up to your life and take a closer look. It might be a goofy funhouse mirror, but it's an entertaining tool to use even if its usefulness is variable. I do think it's fun to hear what people think about astrology, so comment down below. Let me know what you think. What's your sign? Do you agree, disagree? Let's chat about it. So with that disclaimer out of the way, it is Scorpio season, and I'm a Scorpio, so that's pretty much the only zodiac sign that I know anything about. From October 23rd to November 22nd, the sun is in Scorpio. So like I said, I'm not a big astrology person, so let me just read a little bit from this article that I read on The Cut. Make sure that I don't get anything wrong. The primary Scorpio characteristics are intensity, perceptiveness, and a quiet, assured kind of power. People are often surprised to hear that Scorpio is not, as they assume, a bold and aggressive fire sign, but rather a water sign, which are typically perceptive, intuitive, and emotional. More than anything else, you should expect this to be a season of intensity. This might mean that you're not able or inclined to let things go. It might mean that you're quicker to become jealous or suspicious. Don't be surprised if other people in your life respond to your actions with this kind of intensity too. At its best, Scorpio can lend you an energy of fearlessness, a refusal to be intimidated by anyone or anything, or to accept answers that are easy but untrue. So definitely an intense season, and I have a couple of intense book recommendations to match. So without further ado, let's get into the books. The first one that I have for you is The Power by Naomi Alderman. So why is this one a Scorpio season pick? Obviously for the power, but there's also a lot of vengeance and resourcefulness in this book. I think that it makes perfect sense to read this season. The power takes place in our world as it is today, but almost overnight, teenage girls develop this muscle in their chest that allows them to conduct electricity and force it out of their fingers so they can inflict pain and even death on other people. These teenage girls are also able to awaken this ability in other older women. Women are suddenly business leaders, political leaders, armies are made up almost entirely of women, sex trafficking victims free themselves. It sounds pretty awesome, right? Well, think again. It ends up going pretty off the rails with extreme cruelty happening across the globe. It's an interesting mirror to kind of hold up to our own society, like flip the gender roles and make it even more extreme. I really like that Naomi Alderman challenges the idea that a world run by women would actually be more kind and just and nurturing. I really enjoy seeing the gender stereotypes really get thrown out of the window because power is power. It's a really fun sci-fi concept. You know, reading like the first half of the book, I felt like I was powerful. I mean, it was invigorating. It's a really fun read, but it is very dark. You're definitely not going to be getting like a feel-good feminist story. It's jacked. And then like through the back half of the book, I kind of feel a little bit gross for feeling so excited. It's messed up. I highly recommend this one. Even if you're not the biggest sci-fi fan, the science fiction element is more of just like a plot device. It's not like hard sci-fi by any means. So I feel good recommending this book to just about everyone. It is a really entertaining, if dark, read. The next book that I have for you is American Spy by Wilkinson. American Spy is a historical fiction, and it takes place in the 1980s and follows a young black woman named Marie, who's an FBI officer. So Marie is intelligent, she's capable, but her career is really stalled out because the FBI is a boys' club. She's not getting any opportunities, and she's really feeling resentful of that. And then enter Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara is a real historical person. He's the charismatic, revolutionary president of Burkina Faso. His communist ideologies are drawing American intervention, and Marie joins a secret task force to take him down. Marie spends like a year getting close to Thomas and seducing him and feeding this information to an organization that is going to stage a coup against him. But she's conflicted. She's pissed because she got this assignment only because of the way that she looks and not because of her abilities. And she doesn't totally disagree with Thomas's ideologies either. From the description, it says that it will change everything she believes about what it means to be a spy, a lover, a sister, and a good American. So why is this one a Scorpio season pick? Well, it's a passionate spy romance. Need I say more? Maybe I should say more, because I feel like the romance for this book is really played up in the advertising, but it's not really a huge plot point. I will say though that just because there isn't a strong romance doesn't mean that the book is devoid of passion. Marie is definitely a passionate person. It's also very Scorpio-ish because she continues to persevere in the face of every obstacle that's thrown at her, and her loyalties are being tested at every turn. American Spy is written in the style of a journal that Marie is writing for her sons. I really loved that style. I thought that it was really sweet to see like her mother perspective on this, but at the same time, because of the audience, her children, you don't get a lot of spice out of this romance novel. It definitely leaves that to your imagination to fill in. There was also a lot of great family drama happening on top of the historical fiction. I thought that served as a great mystery. I definitely wanted to find out what was going on with her dad, with her mom, with her sister, so it definitely kept me on the hook. I definitely felt like this was a relatively easy read, so I recommend it to anyone. It's a simple one for you to pick up and get through. Just don't go into it expecting a steamy romance. It's definitely not what's happening. I don't feel like I know of a lot of 80s historical fiction novels, so if that interests you at all, I think it could be a cool one. And the last book I have for you is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I read this one as an audiobook, so no physical copy, but I can definitely say that I recommend the audiobook version. I thought the narration was great. This one is a murder mystery where the main character has to figure out who the murderer is by living through the same day 8 times, inhabiting a different person's body each day. Evelyn Hardcastle is not the main character, but rather the murder victim, as you can tell by the title. Her family is putting together a big soiree at their palatial home, Blackheath Manor. There are tons and tons of people invited. Pretty much anybody who's ever been considered a friend of the family is there. It turns out that everyone in attendance was actually at Blackheath Manor 20 years ago when Evelyn's brother was mysteriously killed. So there's lots of twists and turns and little mysteries to uncover. It's a really fun, like locked room murder mystery with an interesting storytelling twist. I think that pretty much any murder mystery would be a great choice for Scorpio season. You know, it's definitely going to be mysterious and secretive. You're gonna have to rely on intuition to get to the end, and there's going to be a sense of loyalty. Is somebody lying to you? Are they not? Who do you trust? So I think that that genre in general is a great pick. Sometimes though, for me, I am hesitant to get started on a murder mystery because it all kind of hinges on that final twist. If the end reveal isn't going to be any good, then I'll feel like I kind of wasted my time reading the book. Because The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle has such a different and fantastical concept from the get-go, really made it easy for me to want to jump in. I didn't have any reservations. I thought, hey, this concept is gonna be awesome. I'm sold. I loved seeing all of the different clues that get unearthed start to make more sense or take on a new meaning as the character plays out the day from a different person's perspective. Very entertaining. I definitely really loved the whole loyalty theme that runs through this novel. It's really interesting to see who's lying to one another and who people are trusting. But on top of that, our main character has to determine whether somebody that he's working with is going to betray him or not. I thought it was great, very entertaining, would make a great TV miniseries. Since it's Scorpio season, if you were looking for something that was a little bit more dark and scary and creepy, definitely check out my video on the scariest books that I've ever read. It's a horror reading vlog, and I loved all of the books that I went through in that one. I think those would also be great choices for the season. Or if you are a Scorpio like me and you're planning the next year of your life, check out the last video that I did. I shared some of my reading resolutions and challenges, so maybe that'll serve as some good inspiration for you. All right, I hope you enjoyed those recommendations. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.